Good morning. My name is Paul Creaney. I'm the spokesperson of Massachusetts Fiscal Alliance, and we are joined with all of the New England states, organizations from those states, Maine, Vermont, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. New Hampshire is not included because they are not part of a group of states that are being bound to California's regulations and bans on internal combustion engines due to an executive order that was signed in 2020 by the Governor of California. Today, we're launching this new coalition, and we're going to have the different organizations speak from New England. We're going to start with Chip Ford from CLT, and then Nick Murray from Maine Policy Institute. And then we're going to go to Meg Hansen from Ethan Allen Institute, Mike Stenhouse from Rhode Island, and then we'll go to Chris Herb from Connecticut. And then we'll just take some questions. But you should all have the letter. We're going to be blasting it out to our press list, to our members. Mass Fiscal's also mailing it to all the 200 lawmakers and our governor. What this coalition hopes to do is to highlight this issue to the public, highlight it to media, highlight it to elected officials, so people are aware of what's happening in their state.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Meg Hansen. I'm the president of the Ethan Allen Institute, which is Vermont's premier center-right think tank. We are committed to policies that are based on the principles of free enterprise, a constitutional and limited government, and individual liberty. Thank you to Paul Creaney and the Massachusetts Fiscal Alliance for organizing this important press conference. EAI is very proud to stand with all our coalition members. First, I'd like to say that Vermont is not a colony of California. It is anti-democratic and irrational for Vermont lawmakers to cede a regulatory authority over our state's vehicle standards to another state. In the year 2000, the state of Vermont adopted California's low-emission vehicle criteria, as well as zero-emission vehicle regulations. Minimizing air pollution by regulating tailpipe emissions is one thing, but imposing a blanket ban on the dominant vehicle technology is entirely another thing. Second, technology bans and mandates cannot succeed in the absence of affordable alternatives. Banning gasoline-powered vehicles cannot and will not force a transition to zero-emission vehicles because ZEV technology is not affordable or easily available at present. Electric vehicles, or EVs, have miles to go before they can compete in the market without the aid of government subsidies and tax credits. So real solutions would focus on improving EV technology today, which involves giving the process time, all the time it needs, and all the space it needs to fail and to evolve. Simply commanding that internal combustion engines become obsolete by an arbitrary year like 2030 or 2035 achieves nothing but political points. Finally, we have record high inflation and record high gas prices. So really, in the face of growing inflation and high gas prices, Vermont policymakers need to expand choices and not limit our ability to commute to work or put food on the table. Vermont is a really rural state. We cannot, we are a small state, but we're really rural and we can't afford to have public transportation. I mean, apart from the Burlington micropolitan area in the Northwest, there's no concept of public transportation or any of these progressive ideas in the rest of the state. So, we have to really think about expanding choices and not limiting them. The vast majority of Vermonters, the vast majority of Americans don't have disposable income to ride inflation waves and to stick it to the man or to stick it to the Russian man, as so many people in positions of power and influence are demanding and calling for. And to conclude, speaking of moral imperatives, we cannot implement policies that will make the average Vermonter poorer. When I said that this basically scores political points, and so politicians, they can think that maybe they'll win some votes in 2022, or this is a great posturing. When we look at the electorate, people like to divide voters into different sort of groups, but the largest group is fossil fuel consumers. And so this affects every single American who doesn't drive an electric vehicle, which is the vast majority. And so I think that, especially when I look at Vermont, the pressure needs to come from bottom up. And when every single Vermonter, every single American understands that not only are we saying, okay, well, we have inflation and the gas price might go to $5 per gallon, you also can't use the vehicle that you're using right now. And so having those two together, I think that would really create a lot of pressure on politicians not to go along with that. But it starts by, letting every single fossil fuel consumer understand what's going on. And in terms of actionable items, we can raise awareness of this. We can get every Vermonter, whether they are on the center or left. I mean, everybody is a consumer of fossil fuels. This is, as I said, the dominant technology. So I'm really hopeful that we can raise awareness and get these concepts of what's happening from California and including in Vermont, get this information out to every single person. And I hope that the media will help us in informing every single Vermonter and every single American affected by California's draconian law. Thank you.